On this board, we've got Rich Lumberger from New York, David Miller from Maryland, Wes Ketchum from Illinois. He's a Windy City Weasel. Chris McKinney from Massachusetts, Ed Sullivan from Texas, Hook'em Horns, Sam Feldman, also from Texas, and Nicolas Sahuguet from Canada. Siobhan, I know you've played with a few of these. What's the scoop on this set of players?
The ones I'm most familiar with are David Miller, very solid player, excited to see what he can do, and obviously Nicolas Sahuguet, former world champion. A number of the other names I've seen in previous streams and virtual tournaments, but Richard Lowenberg and Chris McKinney, I believe, are brand new to me.
Okay. Doug?
Yeah, similar to Siobhan. I mean, Nicolas is a sublime player. He's fantastic. David is incredibly strong. I've seen him, just absolutely run boards. So, I'll be interested to see how that plays out with them, in the Witches.
Yeah, David is definitely a player who could win this one. And Wes Ketchum he's a new player for our league. He's been tearing it up. He's been really hot lately. And then obviously we've got Nicolas as a world champion. He's one of the best patient players I've ever seen. So looking forward. All right, let's go. Siobhan, why don't you take the West? Doug, why don't you take the East?
Sounds good.
Siobhan, you're up.
I need to see the board.
Oh. Cubed it. There we go.
Oh, well, that's all terribly boring. I mean, okay, I guess bounce in Piedmont. That's something we haven't seen today. Paris gets into Burgundy, but I mean, on the face of it, there's nothing terribly exciting. The bounce in Piedmont was almost certainly arranged. There's nothing following it up. Paris going to Burgundy, I'm not terribly worried about that as Germany, but it does give me the guess of whether I try for Belgium or protect Munich.
All right. Doug, anything in the East?
Pretty clearly, we've got some arranged bounces here. This whole board is a lot of, very safe, standard, strong openings. Let's wait and see what happens. Not a lot of commitment without knowing how the negotiations are going. That's just the way it plays out sometimes. And, hey, good job. This is the most boring opening I think we've had all day.
Well, let's find out what happens. Doug, starting in the East.
Well, that's interesting. Russia sacrifices the Black Sea to get the play on Romania. We get a bounce in Trieste. That's fascinating. Don't know if that was planned or not. And Russia followed to Galicia. So, even though Turkey went to Romania, you could see an RT form out of this. I could easily see that. So, AI potentially fighting. It's intriguing to see how this plays out.
I know that the bounce in Trieste like that is something I used to see back, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years ago when I was playing on the Judges. It was a very common arrangement. I haven't seen it in a while, though. Siobhan, the West.
The West is fairly boring still. I mean, France picks up Iberia and supports the English player into Belgium. The German didn't even try for it, chose instead to cover Munich. That's always the guess, and if you don't really know the player on the other side, maybe that's the safer move.
All right. So we'll run through the builds real quick. We've got a English fleet in Eddie, an army in London. France built an army in Paris and a fleet in Marseille. Italy built fleet Naples. Turkey built fleet Smyrna. Austria built 2 armies in Trieste and Budapest. Russia built 2 armies in Warsaw and Moscow.
Lots of armies.
Germany built armies in Kiel and Berlin. Anything stand out to you, Siobhan?
I think the lack of a German fleet build is interesting. I don't usually see that in No. 1. But other than that, everything is fairly standard. France isn't worried about tipping his hand with Fleet Marseille, which tells me that E and F have a good relationship, possibly with Germany on side.
Yeah. Doug?
I agree with that. It's a really army-heavy build. Is England here? You probably want that army, and so that's good to have. A strong signal that you're going north and not messing that way. So I like that build in that situation. This could very well be some kind of Western triple coming east. We'll just have to wait and see. Nothing in the East is terribly surprising or really shows people tipping their hands. I actually, in this instance, I want to give Sam Feldman here, some props. I think building in Moscow is better. Just gives you the additional tactical flexibility because you're just not sure what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
When in doubt, build Army Moscow. All right, Doug, I'll let you start this one.
Okay. Russia did go north and lost Sweden immediately, which, looks very strongly Western triple-ish, or at least EG in the north. The south, Turkey holds, gets into the Aegean Sea. Is that a support for... Okay, yes, thought it was going in there, and we get Italy making a play on Austria. That's fascinating.
Yeah. All right. Siobhan?
There seems to be a little bit of breakdown in communication in the West surrounding who gets to keep Belgium. Germany moves to Ruhr while Paris moves to Picardy. Are they both going to try and support themselves in? Do they have an agreement about who takes it from England? Does England survive because they can't agree?
Yeah, that is definitely interesting. Let's see what happens from that. Siobhan?
Looks like France takes it while England walks into Holland and Holland walks out to go to Kiel. Germany made a number of interesting choices that didn't work out this turn. Loses Holland, loses Berlin, loses Munich. Ouch. Loses Denmark. Is the only dot Germany keeps Kiel? Oh, and Warsaw, I suppose, but I'll let Doug take that in a minute. That's brutal. Oh, Chris.
Yeah, it's going to have aftershocks throughout the board for sure.
Yeah.
Doug?
Well, at the same time that Germany gets absolutely eviscerated, so really does Austria. Look at the support into Serbia by Turkey, as well as the support into Greece. Oof, 2 Italian builds with help from Turkey. I said Nicola is sublime, and this is classic him. He's like buying a friend. I like it. And it's frustrating as Russia in this situation when you're trading Berlin for Warsaw, but hey, a Russia's got to do what a Russia's got to do.
And I've seen Nicola play pretty patiently before. Do you feel like he's at a disadvantage here, though? With is he behind on the tempo game? Is that worth it?
No, I think he should be patient because the absolute just devastation in Germany is going to create a fracas. And if he can sit back and push Italy, it's like, look, I'm working with you. I just gave you 2 dots. You need to use those to go west. Remember, he probably did that because Marseille and Spain were there. What if those had gone to Lyon and West Met, right? He's probably saying like, no, I've got to help you be strong in the West. And I think that calculation still holds to this point.
All right. So builds for 1902. We've got a army and fleet for England. We've got Fleet Brest, Army Paris, Army in Rome, Fleet Naples.
One of each all around, yeah.
Yep. And disbands galore for Germany. All right. Anything stand out to you, Siobhan?
I really feel for Chris McKinney. That EF is gonna roll.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of the board responds. Siobhan, why don't you lead us off in the spring?
As expected, David Miller is convoying Eddie over to Norway, getting in Barents. We'll see a play on St. Pete very soon. Germany is doing what he can to recoup what he can and deciding that E and F can just take whatever they want, and he's going to punish the dotty stab from Russia, which, then again, he went for Warsaw, so how much can he really fault the Russian for what happened there? And the French fleets get into position, and Tyrolia, Munich, Burgundy. Everything moves.
Mm-mm-mm.
So
Doug.
a lot of arrows in the west. So the first thing here is, France is dropping into Tyrolia in a pretty quick fashion.
Mhm.
And they haven't resolved Austria yet. That's a little rough for the AT alliance here, or the IT alliance, excuse me. And here we have Galicia sliding into Warsaw, which there goes Germany, kaboom. Some bouncing in the Balkans, but they're getting the position that they need. They've got their fleets basically in position to go west. Nicola is in a really good long-term position here, in my opinion. And frankly, Ed is playing pretty well and has some opportunities to continue.
All right. Continuing in the east, Doug.
Well, I love this. They just put Russia into Budapest. That's fantastic.
Very nice.
At the same time that they cut Moscow to give it to England in the north. That's just mean, guys. That's just mean. So Austria holds Warsaw, but ends up losing Budapest. As sort of predicted, Tyrolia is now de facto Austrian peace to slow down Italy. I think that it's not terrible that Italy lost the Tyrrhenian Sea. It's not ideal, but you had to cover Tunis in that situation. So, it is what it is.
All right, Siobhan.
I just want to say that in the West, this game is moving very, very quickly. David Miller, if my counting is correct, will be on 11 at the end of this turn, and has made a little bit of a pivot, nabbing Belgium from the French while also dropping into the Channel and denying them Berlin, which probably was promised to them because that's where the French moved, and it's brutal. So well done, David.
Is that a stab?
I think it's absolutely a stab. But take Belgium, go into the English. France moved to Berlin like they were expecting to get in, and instead the English supported themselves in. And got 4 dots.
Yeah.
And France can't build here. And so, there's immediate convoys into Brest, or you can go to MAO. I mean, wow. David, nicely.
Wait, France even has to pull here, don't they?
Yeah.
Losing Belgium. Yeah.
This is nasty.
I love it. It's so good.
It's going to take everything at this point for IT to stop David from soloing, because France is going to fall really, really fast.
This is like 1903. David is on 11.
Yeah, this is brutal. I mean, it's awesome if you're David. Nicely done.
If you're anyone else on this board, it's upsetting. But
yeah,
this is probably the best stab I've seen so far today. This is gorgeous.
I love it.
Yeah. This is well executed. I know we're spending a lot of time talking about it, but it deserves talking about.
Yeah. Love to see it.
All right. Well, let's see what happens from this.
Wow.
2 fleets and an army from England.
With a convoy into Brest with no stop.
Oof. We've got a disband of Tyrolia as expected. Fleet Naples was the build. Army Con, and Austria's down to 1. All right.
2. Vienna and Galicia.
Oh, yes. I see it. All right. So, Doug, we're going to go ahead and begin with you in the East.
I get why Russia went to Armenia. Hopefully that's to blow that fleet up, except it doesn't look like that happened. Is there potentially a misorder there happening? It looks like Nicola tried to convoy maybe. He wrote support. So it looks like that was supposed to be a planned move. And we got a misorder here from Nicola, and that's not good. He does not need misorders down here. And he similarly had a misorder in his last game, so it's probably the interface, wreaking havoc on him. Otherwise, France in the south moves away, and Italy pushes up. they don't really have a lot of need for Austria or Russia, one of the two. But, when you have a David Miller solo shot here, you probably want to leave them alone and fling them to the front lines and try and slow them down.
Siobhan, can David do it?
There are some minor tactical errors here. He loses Kiel. The more I look at it, the more I think that maybe taking Berlin with the fleet was the wrong move. He could have convoyed from Sweden last year and had 2 armies down there. He's got the walk into Brest, but he has to support it, which means he can't make a play on Mao. So there's some tempo loss here, and everyone else, except for Turkey, who's dotting Italy for Tunis, seems to be on board with getting to the line.
I have to think that this is planned by Turkey and Italy.
Yeah.
He went behind him to the Ionian Sea.
That's true.
This is them working together. And I would expect in the fall that they take Budapest and Sev. He's in Sev. There's no reason for that Russian army to be sitting there in Budapest.
No, yeah, but I mean, Italy and Austria are getting to the line.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll go ahead, Siobhan, let you take the fall.
Yeah, as expected, David fails to retake Kiel. I am not shocked at all. France is offering support to the Eastern powers and not a ton else moves. France does some fleet realignment, which is going to make it really hard for David to get any further into MAO. And he loses... No, he keeps his pocket build. So at least there's that. Another army. You need another army.
Yep. All right. Doug.
The East, everybody's working together at this point. They blew up that Russian army in Budapest as I thought they would do. Moving to Warsaw, those 2 units can then slow or stop David while they wait for the rest of the units to get up there. I love the supported convoy. Like he probably was like punching the keyboard to make sure he got it right. And Russia is compliant, basically saying like, yeah, my fleet is gone. You don't have to worry about that. Just keep me around in Moscow because you need that army there.
Yep.
They don't really need that army there, but you gotta Russia here. The South is just push as fast as you can to the west. Yep.
All right. Hey Siobhan, welcome back.
Hi.
All right, this is giant David Miller land.
Oh, David Miller.
Ready to wrap this up? All right. Why don't you take the west, Siobhan? This is the one David made a pretty massive stab, and we're going to find out what the result of that was.
Do they let him get away with it?
Got it. All right. So he builds in Army London, and we've got 2 armies in Turkey. Anything jump out to either of you here?
Not in this.
Yep. All right. Siobhan, take the west.
Okay, David Miller just chugs along. They swap Kiel and Berlin. He and France, I mean. France takes Brest off him. There wasn't anything David could have done about that. So disband it. You'll build it into a more useful unit later if you can take it back. And everyone else is just walking up to the line to try and stop whatever this is.
I mean, the East is, nothing there to really write home about. I've given Nicola some praise for, the work that he's been doing. He's put in the time and the effort here. He pops up to Galicia, which is, of course, what he needs to do. And then Italy and Austria combine to go to Bohemia, but not steal the dot because he doesn't need it right now. I'm curious what's going to happen down there in Tunis, Lyon to West, we'll have to see how that plays out. Mm-hmm. Siobhan, what do you think about that pull by England not going to Picardy? Do you want to do that? I don't know.
I don't know if you do. I think you still need more than one army on the mainland there, and it's a spring turn, so playing one down for an entire year seems unwise, but...
Mm-hmm. Something I didn't call out here was England helped Austria into Moscow, blowing up the Russian unit, which eliminates Russia in this. And this is a good move because Austria can't do really very much with that. So it actually weakens that position probably rather substantially.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Doug, why don't you continue in the east?
Turkey takes Moscow. That's okay. That's not bad for England. England wants more chaos in the east, which puts pressure on France and Italy. That's probably a good move. Although, Nicola is, of course, like I said, a very savvy player. So he's popping up to Silesia. He convoys to Romania. He's shuffling units into the center of the board. And very effectively here, Italy takes Vienna. But it doesn't hurt Austria's position because Austria is still Austria is going to pull one. I don't know about that. I don't know that I like that. I think I want Austria to have 2 on there still. They've got an advanced army, and that's helpful up there.
Siobhan, anything you like in the West?
There's not a ton happening in the West. France and Italy are setting up to take Mao from David, and there is nothing he can do about it. They have 5 fleets on MAO. Now that, well, they did last term too, so maybe they're just not very coordinated about it.
Yeah.
It looks like Brest supported the wrong unit or to the wrong place. Supported West MAO instead of NAF.
Yeah.
I like what England did in Germany over there, or in France or England,
New England,
Fringland.
Very intermixed, but the move to Ruhr is nice because that could be covered. Belgium can be covered from the North Sea. This is where I think the disband from Picardy hurts. Because if you're sitting in Picardy right now, you could have gone to Burgundy, you can go to Belgium. And I think that just is a stronger position.
I completely agree. Even if he has to disband at the end of this year, keep it for the season.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Do you see any opportunity for further English growth?
Yeah, I mean, Munich and Berlin are interesting, and we'll see how that plays out. I think that, again, when you think about, we talked at the beginning of the game about the really strong ability that David has and that Nicola has. Let's not forget, Wes is a really strong player. We've seen him tonight play some good games, and we saw him last week play a good game as well. But I think Nicola here is being really patient and working really hard to keep Ed in Italy calm and comfortable and doing what needs to be done to hold the line. So, England's not done. England just needs to sort of like lock down their line and then be like, yeah, whatever, you guys go fight, and I'll have some fun when time is necessary. But there's no northern fleets that he really needs to be worried about. So what if he loses a dot? He's got a mammoth position still.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see Nicola's decisions down in the Balkans also. Keep an eye on that. All right, with our builds, Austria disbands Warsaw, keeps the fun unit, and we've got a army in Marseille, army in Venice, and that's it. All right, moving on. Siobhan, why don't you start in the West?
Yeah, I mean, everything's supporting everything. The only thing that moves is Gascony to North Coast, which, why? But sure. Italy repositions a little. Tunis makes a stab. Well, that's, I suppose, not my theater. Doug.
Well, as we saw, nothing moved in the West. Italy and Turkey are fighting now. I think this is good for the West. Turkey certainly can't hold Tunis. Walked into Serbia. There was a bounce in Budapest. Maybe this is arranged, but I don't know. Turkey's also taken Warsaw. This is a good move for Turkey. Maybe the time has come to stop being patient while David doesn't really have a solo shot anymore. So I don't mind if France gets a bunch of dots in Italy if I'm getting 4 out of Austria and Greece. Or what were Austria and Greece, you know.
All right. Let's keep going in the East, Doug.
And, you know, then they kind of stop moving. You know, they blow up the fleet in Tunis and basically trade Serbia for Tunis. You know, if I'm Italy, I think that's a good trade for me. I don't need that fleet over there. I'm not offended by this as Turkey either, because I'm picking up Warsaw, so I'm building 2 builds right now, so I can, you know, put another fleet down if I need to, and I could put an army in Con. I don't hate this move for the East.
Do we have? No, we just have 1. I thought for a minute we had 2 units on Moscow. 2, that would have been fun, but that's a bounce. So, all right, Siobhan, talk to us about the West.
The moves in the West here tell me that David and Wes Ketchum have just decided they are kind of done with this game, but they recognize that the East has a couple of things they want to resolve before it's all said and done. So they're letting them do that, and I guess that's all about eliminating Austria, and then what?
Yeah, you're set. Feel like they're setting up for the draw.
Absolutely.
All right. Good game, Richard. Disband of the final Austrian center. So now everybody can fucking draw.
He held on for quite a while, and now that's done, I guess we can draw.
Yeah.
It's always so cruel to eliminate a player and then immediately draw the game.
Yep, and that is where we end.
Yeah, you know, and everybody on the board did a really fantastic job of when David blew up in, what was it, 03, and he was like at 11 or whatever. You know, they did a really good job of containing him, and that's hard to do across so many players. And we don't know how those negotiations went, but it doesn't really matter. The proof is in the pudding, and the ability to stop somebody who is at like 11 and 03. That was nicely done by the rest of the powers. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from David's fantastic stab, but, you know, coordinating 5 people to stop one person is really hard.
Yeah. Especially virtually, I would imagine.
Yeah, especially in virtual. Yeah. Is there anybody you feel like would not want to accept this draw?
I think if this is an untimed round and a result that I care about, if I'm doing well in the tournament before this, if I'm Nicola, I think I've still got a lot of play here. Italy possibly too, but it really depends on what that relationship is like. And if I feel like this is just going to irritate the West or the people I'm asking to continue, maybe not.
Yeah, I feel like they've got a pretty nice balance.
Yeah, I think like David and Wes's position, if you go back, like they very clearly had committed to each other, like we're not going to stab each other. So, you know, it's hard to judge. I do think, and they did this for like 2 turns prior to this happening. You know, I think if they really want to, they can take France out of this game. The danger for Italy and Turkey is if you start really pressuring France, you know, he very well may throw the solo to England, and you want to be pretty cautious about that.
All right. Well, congratulations, David Miller. And,
very well done.
Is our last game.